dear friends. I hope you are doing well. My name is Anand, and I welcome you in the beautiful session of TOC. So, in this session, we're going to learn the context free grammar, that is CFG. As we know, the grammar is very important part of any language, right? So, the language, it may be any. In general, it may be like English, Hindi, Marathi, Telugu, Punjabi, Gujarati, or any other language of the world. The grammar plays a very important role over there. So, in the same way, the grammar is essential for generating any language, right? And so in this TOC, as we have all the machines that accept some languages, and those languages can be generated by using some grammar. So the grammar part that we are going to learn in this session. So basically, the grammar in the TOC was established by Noam Chomsky, a great mathematician, scientist, a researcher. He established the grammar part in the TOC. Right. So let's try to understand how this grammar is defined in this TOC. Right. So let's try to understand first what I mean by the grammar in the TOC. So the grammar is a precise way of representing the language through some specific rules, right? So when it comes in the mathematics, we have to go by certain rules and regulations, right? So in the grammar also we have some specific rules by which we are going to generate the languages, right? So here in the TOC, the grammar is represented by the four tuples. Grammar is represented by G, and this G is equal to, grammar is equal to four tuples. Those are V, sigma, P, yes. So these are the four tuples, and also we do have another four tuples that by which also the grammar can be represented, and those are N, T, P, yes, right? So these are the four tuples. So either you can go, you have to go with V sigma PS, or you can go with NTPS. Generally, all the public and also we are going to follow these four tuples, right? NTP, yes. So one by one, let's try to understand what this tuples are. So first of all, let's consider the first tuple, that is V or N. All right. So this is nothing but a finite set of variables or the non-terminals. So this is finite set of variables or the non-terminals, right? So as a capital N, that represents the non-terminals, and this non-terminal is always represented in the uppercase letters, right? Always represented in uppercase letters, and this non-terminals are used for generation. So what do you mean by the generation and the termination? We'll come to know while solving the examples, right? So here for the time being, you keep in your mind that the non-terminals are used for generation. Let's move on to the another symbol, that is sigma. So the second tuple is sigma or T. All right. So this T is nothing but the that represents terminal. So this becomes a finite set of the input symbols or the terminals. All right. And these are represented always with the lower case letters. Right. These are always represented by lower case letters, and these are used for termination purpose, right? So the terminals are used for generation, sorry, non-terminals are used for generation, and terminals are used for termination. Always we have to keep in our mind. So let's move on to the next tuple. So the third symbol, the third tuple you can see is the P and P. So in both way, it is called represented by PP only. This is nothing but it is the set of rules, right? Set of production rules. So how these are see? This kind of LHS we do have something, let's call it as an alpha, and that gives us beta. Right. So in this way, the rules of the production will be there. So now let's see how those can be represented. This arrow, whatever we are talking about, is nothing but we are calling as, we are saying it as an gives, right? Alpha gives beta. The LHS entity gives some RHS entity. So this may be is said like gives or produces, or we may call it as an generates also. All right. So this is a simple third symbol that is set of the production rules. So alpha, some LHS part we do have in the grammar, and that gives us some RHS part. So this arrow can be said like gives, produces, or generates. So let's move on to the fourth part, and that is yes and yes. In both representation we call it as an yes, and that is nothing but the start symbol. So it is the start symbol, right? So language word formation always starts with production rule of the start symbol. All right. Always starts with the start symbol in the sense the way how we saw in the upper rule that alpha gives something. So whenever the in the grammar always starts with some yes in the LHS part, and it gives something onto the RHS part, right? So this yes is nothing but the start symbol, right? So these are the four tuples of the grammar by which the grammar is represented as. So G is nothing but NTPS, right? So I hope you people would have understood very properly. So let's see some examples of the grammar, how the grammar looks like. So these are the simple examples of the grammar, how it looks in the TOC. So yes gives a yes, yes gives epsilon, and also these are the various examples you can see here, right? So in this we can recognize that this is a capital C, so this is a terminal. So this is an small letter as it is used, we can say it is terminal, and capital letters are non-terminals, right? So this is yes, you can see this is your start symbol, and this C, capital C, you can see this is the non-terminal, and the again T is also here and non-terminal. The A that is represented in the lower case, it is called as the terminal, and so on. So you can see all the tuples over here that of the grammar. So N, T, P, and S, and all these as arrow is there, we can say that this is these are the production rules of the grammar. So this is all about the grammar, my dear friends, with few examples how they look like. So in the next session we shall see about the non-Chomsky's architecture, and then after that we will go on solving such grammar part. Okay, thank you so much.